Yeah, and sometimes it's my fault now, and it's still gonna go down. It's still a daily go get 'em. The daily go get 'em is a show. You think it won't when it would? You think I wouldn't when I could? Yo, it's going down the daily go get 'em is a show, and we are in motion. I know I'm late, but it's gonna be all right. Better late than never. That's what they say, right? All right, let's go. Yeah, and it's the daily go get mism show. Yes, yeah, here we are. Throwback Thursday. Let's get real about relationships Thursday, and let's put it in motion, y'all. It's going down. It's going down. Yeah, how y'all feeling tonight, man? I hope y'all feeling good like real men and women should. Tonight, we're going to talk about something real. What you learn about the opposite sex from your siblings and if it matters. What you learn about the opposite sex from your siblings and whether it matters or not. You know, so you got brothers and you got sisters. And so you would think that you learned everything that there is to know and everything that you need to know about your man or your woman because you grew up with a bunch of men in the house or you grew up with a bunch of women up in the house. Yeah, but did it have an effect on your heart? We gonna know tonight. Did it happen from the start? Did it have an effect on your heart now? The way you're dealing with your man now, the way you're dealing with your woman now. Yeah, you supposed to know how. That's what we're talking about tonight, y'all. What you learn about the opposite sex from your siblings and whether it matters or not. This is how it's going down. What's going on, T Carry? Right all up in the house. How you feeling, ma? It's good to see me some you. And you know that it's TRU. With the E. Yeah, we are doing this. Emily Dunlap is in the house. Bow, she about to turn it out. Then Charlene Curry. Charlene Curry. What's going on, Charlene? How you feeling, Charlene? Good to see me some you. Word. Yeah. Carol Chamberlain, me favorita is all up in the house. How you feeling, my? Good to see you always. Always and forever. Annette Davis, the number one. Annette Davis, the number one. What's going on? Word. All right, y'all, let's get it popping. Urban Therapy with Sun 752 with this your daily, the daily go get 'em show. We do this every daily go get 'em show. We do this every single day, every day it rains, every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. I'm your host, Sun 752. AKA Omar with the rrr. And if you can't say Omar with the rrr, well, then you just say Omar with the R. It's the daily go get 'em show all up in your area. And we are here and we are in motion. And it's going down like that now. So tonight on the daily go get 'em show on this throwback Thursday, the 6th of August, the 6th of Leo, we are talking about the effect, the impact that having siblings had on your relationships with the opposite sex and whether it mattered or not. You know how it goes. People say it all the time. Well, I know how to women. You'll hear women say things like, "Well, I know how to deal with men because I grew up with all brothers and I knew how men could be. I knew, you know what I mean? I knew that all men were dogs, or if your brothers were type dogs or whatever." Or what you're really saying is that you understood the capabilities that a man had, good and bad, because of what your brothers taught you. And your brothers may have actually actively taught you about the opposite sex. They may have warned you straight up and down. Well, this is what all men do. Sometimes people say that their father did it. Oh, goodness gracious. Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. This is it. I got eye problems. I got eye problems. I had some eye problems. I had an eye problem that I had to deal with. You know what I mean? It wasn't just going to go away on its own, and I could clearly see that. Okay. Gotta wipe the eye. Gotta wipe the eye. Nothing for me is more uncomfortable than my eye twitching, itching, and hurting, and all of that. So I had to fix that. All right. Okay. So yeah. So if a woman grew up with a bunch of brothers, then she may expect to be able to have the drop, have the scouting report, to have some surveillance, to have some understanding, a deeper understanding of what it's like to deal with a man. So that's supposed to ease her journey, her anxiety, about how it is to deal with men, because you grew up with a bunch of men. You may have been responsible for taking care of those men. Maybe you weren't the youngest sibling, so you had to actually raise boys, and maybe you were somewhere in the middle, so you had younger brothers, older brothers, whatever. And so you feel like yeah, well, no men can tell me anything because of what I knew from my brothers and sisters. Well, from what I knew about my brothers, because they taught me everything. My dad may have even taught me a few things, like all men, all they want to do is get all up in you. You got to make sure that you get a man that treats you like your daddy's going to treat you like your brothers are going to treat you. Make sure that you get a man that respects you or whatever. Does it happen that way? Is that any type of guarantee that you're going to have an easier ride when it comes time for your heart to get on the ride? And theoretically, we would say, yeah, that makes sense, right? If a woman grew up with a bunch of brothers and sisters, if a woman grew up with a bunch of brothers, then you would think that she would have an easier time when it came to men. The thing is, the relationship that she may have had with her brothers may not have been in a romantic way. Of course, it better not have been in a romantic way. So seeing your brothers and the way that they dealt with women, girls, whatever, from an observation standpoint, from a spectator standpoint, it may be a lot different than when you are actually in the game. You know how it is when you're watching a sporting event, basketball, football, hockey, baseball, especially football. We wonder, how come the running back didn't run to this side where there was little coverage instead of running to that side? Well, we're not down there on the field. We're all the way above on TV, where we can have a different view of exactly how the game is going or how the game is set up. So we figure that we know what's best for that team. But it doesn't work that way. It's a whole different set of circumstances when you are actually in the game, on that field, and you don't have an overhead view of what the coverage looks like. So you have to run the plays that you designed for yourself. So that's the same way it is when you are in a relationship. Regardless of what you may have watched before, what you may have seen before, what you may have been told before, none of that stuff is really going to sink in until you actually are able to put it into real-time practice, until you are actually in the game of love. And the game of love changes everything, baby. The game of love changes everything. So whatever you were doing before, however things used to play out before, are going to be a little different when they are actually involving you and somebody else, and you have to make those decisions in real time about how you're going to govern your heartstrings and where you're going to direct them to. You know what I'm talking about. So that's what we're talking about tonight on the daily go get Mism show. And Robin Ming, my big sis, here to do her thing. Thanks for coming through, making sure I feel like a king. Word. Thanks for coming through, y'all. Thanks for hitting that like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button when y'all come in. Hit the like button. Make sure you share the show. Share the show. There's a share button. Push it. Share it. Do it. Be down with the crew. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And if you didn't know, you can call into this show if you would like to get on the microphone and express yourself, because you may not be able to do it at the crib, or you may not be able to write it in chat the way that you really mean it in real time. So if you want to call into the show, all you have to do is dial 319-527-6199. That's a number to call. I said a 319-527-6199. Yes. So I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get on the line. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get your shine, baby. 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 319-527-6199, baby. Robin Ming says, did you stop wearing your glasses, Omar? No, but I don't need my glasses when I'm here. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I don't like wearing glasses. And there are a few things that I don't like about wearing glasses, my big sis, Robin Ming. First of all, I didn't start having to need to wear glasses until I was 46, almost 47 years old. So before then, I didn't even like wearing sunglasses, shades, all of that. I don't like nothing on my face. But okay, so my sight was not as strong as it used to be, but I still didn't like wearing them. And I'm keeping a buck with you. I'm too much of a man to wear contact lenses, so that's out. Yes, I do think that's a little feminine, and I don't care whether they're clear, or color or whatever. I'm not doing that. Plus, I don't like the idea of putting something inside of my eye. I like it. That's not gonna happen. Even though I rub my eye. Anyway, so I don't really. And the real thing I don't like about wearing glasses is it doesn't correct your vision. It corrects your vision as long as the glasses are on, but then your eyes start to depend on the glasses, and you can't.
90 seconds.
The fuck? And then you can't see. And I don't like not being able to. Well, should I say, it makes your vision worse over time, and I'm not with all that. I ain't with all that, mama. No. So no, I try not to wear my glasses all the time. I'm like, I gotta get the muscles to start trying to, strengthen themselves again. All right, so yeah, so that's what we're talking about tonight on the Daily Go Get 'Emism show. The effect, what you learn about the opposite sex from your siblings, and if it matters. What you learn about the opposite sex from your siblings and whether it matters or not. Does it matter? Some of y'all grew up with brothers and sisters right there in the house. Well, did it make your relationship history any easier? Did it make it better? You grew up around, listen, you were a boy growing up around a bunch of women. And you weren't one of those boys that became feminine or sissy-like because, maybe you didn't watch Young and the Restless and all of those soap operas that growing up that'll happen when you grow up in a house full of women. Because all my sisters and my mom and all of that, they watch soap operas and shit like that. But I was going to be goddamn if that was going to happen with me. I wasn't watching that shit. What are y'all watching? So you didn't grow up like that. You didn't feed into that narrative. But as you grow up with sisters as a man, you're going to see how women are when they are with their men. You're going to hear conversations between women about men. You're going to find out how good a woman can be. You're going to find out how bad a woman can be. You're going to find out how scheming and conniving and deceptive some women can be. You're going to find out if women are really loyal when their men aren't around. Do they really think about them when they aren't around? Or how do they think about them when they aren't around? How do they treat them when they come around versus how they were thinking about them, talking about them, and acting when they weren't around? You're going to find that out about women. Is that going to help you? Did it help you to gain a healthy respect for women? Did it make you love them a little bit more, have a little bit more compassion for them? because you grew up around a bunch of them. Did that make you stop being a dog, or did that prevent you from being a dog? Well, I'm sure that you know, and I know that it doesn't always work out that way. Now, does it? Because probably plenty of us have had to say, like, damn, you grew up around all these women, you know, you watch your mom go through these struggles with men and all of that shit, and you became just like the men that she struggled against or struggled with, instead of being the one that rescued her from all of that shit. Or you rescued your mom, physically rescued, fought some of her boyfriends and whatever, you know, when they tried to get a little, they tried to get a little liberal with the hands. You know what I mean? But you wind up putting your hands on women too. Or you wind up making them want to put their hands on you. Well, how does that work? Mm-hmm. How does that work? So that's what we're talking about tonight on the Daily Go Get Up Mism Show. Wait a minute, is that Queen in the house? Queen Nika is all up in the house. Shanika Crowley is all up in the house. What's going on, Ma? It's good to see me some you. Thanks for coming on through. You know that's 100% true. Well, yeah. Hey, yo. So Annette Davis says, I love my brother, but he took after my father, and they both like to chase tail and juggle women. And those are some of the types of men that I seem to be attracted to most of the time. So you see what I'm saying, Annette. Now, but let me ask you this question. Even though they dealt with their women the way that they dealt with them, what did they teach you about dealing with men? Did they warn you against men? Did they protect you against men? Did they tell you about how to deal with a man or whatever? You know, because a lot of times we have the type of attitude like, don't do as I do, you know, don't do as I say, do as I do, or don't do as I do as I say, or whatever the case may be. You know, so just because somebody is the way that they are doesn't mean that they can't warn you against somebody else. You know, a lot of times we get caught up in that. We think that, well, how you going to give me advice when you don't have your shit together? Easily. I can show you not to not have your shit together like I am. Duh. Do people who always have their shit together teach you how to get your shit together? Do millionaires always teach other people how to become millionaires? You know, shoot. Probably all of y'all have something that y'all cook very well. Do y'all give out the recipe? No. You know, let me just answer that. No. Your favorite dish that you know how to cook really well, you don't be showing nobody else how to make that shit. You be trying to die with it. Like you could be on a deathbed. They could be like, but mama, how do you make that pie the way you do? Can you please just write it down? Baby, all you got to do. You know, so sometimes you have to listen to what people are saying instead of watching what they're doing. Yeah, it may sound crazy, but it's an actual fact, and it's something that we got to deal with. It's something we got to deal with. So tonight on the Daily Go Get 'Em Show, we're talking about what you learn from the opposite sex. I mean, what you learn about the opposite sex from your siblings, and if it matters. So, ladies, if you grew up around a bunch of brothers and your fathers and your uncles, and you knew they was kind of trifling, and they warned you against being around men that's trifling, they may have told you everything that you needed to know, and even what you didn't want to know. But did it stop you from going in? Did it stop you from becoming a victim? Did it prevent you from the pitfalls that everybody in each and every last one of us has to go through? Did it save us? Did our relationships or our observations with our brothers and sisters, our physical brothers and sisters, and sometimes boy and girl cousins, did it save us in our relationships? Did we learn enough to be able to conduct ourselves and run our relationships in a way that made us more comfortable, that added more spice of life, that added more quality to life? Did it do it for us? Well, that's what we're talking about tonight on the Daily Go Get 'Emism show. So what y'all know, man? What y'all talking about tonight? What y'all talking about tonight? All right. Thanks for sharing the show, y'all. Thanks for liking the show. Thanks for pushing that like button. And you know what I'm saying? Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Okay. Carol Chamberlain says, I had 5 brothers and taught what I didn't want in the man. I'm just saying. So they showed you what you didn't want. But did you still make sure that you didn't get what you didn't want? You know, like sometimes, you know, just watching. Sometimes we're watching the physical thing, but we're not watching it from a spiritual level. We're not watching it from a more intrinsic, deeper level. We're not watching into it. We're just watching on the surface. Like, you know, we can make mistakes. We black people, and sometimes we make mistakes when it comes to judging character. So we might have saw our brothers dog out women, or we may have seen our sisters be straight hoes, or we may have seen them be real loyal. We may have seen our brothers be unlike most men that are out there. We may have seen them really, you know, get after their women and try to protect them and try to love them and be loyal to them and faithful to them and even be generous to them and good fathers and all of that kind of stuff. And it didn't work out. But instead of seeing the type of women that they were dealing with as far as their attitudes are concerned or their emotional patterns and things like that, we may have seen, okay, what I learned from my brothers and sisters is don't be messing around with those red bone girls. Don't be messing around with them red bone girls. Don't be messing around with the red bone girls, especially the ones with good hair, the ones with the curls. I said, don't be messing around with the red bone girls. I said, don't be messing around with the red bone girls. I said, don't be messing around with the red bone girls. You know what I'm talking about. The one with the girl hair, the one with the curls. Like it don't have nothing to do with their complexion. Your brother or your brothers may have gone for that type of woman, but it wasn't their skin tone that governed the way that they acted. He was attracted to these bum ass, no good chicks who didn't want to do nothing but use and abuse and serve them like hell until one day he was found hung dead and stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes we look too much into the physical, and I mean the physical. We're not looking at the depth of what's going on with some of the women or the men that we choose for ourselves. Even though we grew up in a house full of the opposite sex, we could have been the only boy, we could have been the only girl, and sometimes our brothers and our sisters may have directly coached us, like, yo, this is what you do, or like what my sisters did with me. They taught me, well, listen, when a girl says this, oh, she means that. Oh, the girl says this, oh, she means that. Oh, girl means this, oh, means that. Oh, girl says this, oh, she means that. Oh, the girl says this, oh, she means that. Oh, girl says this, oh, she means that. Oh, girl says this, oh, she means that. Oh, don't be caught out there like a sucker, yo. Girl says this, she means that, yo. This, yo, says this, she means that. Oh, girl says this, oh, she means that, yo. Don't get caught out there like a sucker boy, yo. Don't let them chicks be playing you. Yo, listen to what they saying to you. They don't really love you like that. They trying to get in that money, trying to give up no cat. Yo, and it not down. And yo, you don't have to get played like a clown, but I know that you won't listen to me, but it won't be because I didn't say it, you see. Well, y'all know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it bees that way. Sometimes we're not listening, or we're listening with our heart and not with our eyes, or sometimes we're listening with our eyes and not with our heart. Use your heart and not your eyes. Baby, let me relax your mind. You know, SWV. Use your heart and not your eyes. All right. So you know, there are times when even if we grew up around the opposite sex and they taught us with every fiber of their being how to work things out. It sometimes did not work out the way we wanted it to. What's going on, my brother? Samaj Network is all up in the house. What's happening, Samaj? Good to see me. Some you word. Thanks for coming on through. Alabama is all up in the house. Thanks for coming through, my man. Emily says, having 4 brothers and 2 sisters, maybe I did subconsciously learn things from them about the opposite sex and relationships or relationships. That's what's up. Shanika says, hey, Robin, thank you. Robin Ming says, my brothers were straight up whores. Now, wait a minute. Now, you just wait a minute. I realize that they are your brothers, and there's nothing I can say about them to protect them. But I thought you was my sister. So who are you? What you trying to say? Because I ain't no help. Now, see, what we not going to do tonight is we not going to be mislabeling niggas. We ain't going to be mislabeling niggas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I know how it be. Now, it's funny you said that all your brothers were whores and they had you as a sister. Now, I don't know if you had another sister who they were around too. So, but when you really think about it, if they were whores, but you weren't a whore, you have to ask yourself, well, how did they, Shanika says, having only brothers was good and bad when it came to dealing with men. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Robert says, I did learn a lot about men from my brothers and didn't want no man like my brothers. Okay. Emily says, on jobs, listening to females about their relationships, and I'm looking like and wondering why they put up with the abuse, whether verbally or physically. Annette says, I got no warning. I was just taught what my place was as a woman. Wow. Okay. All right. Emily says, having a man like 3 of my brothers wouldn't be so bad. Okay. T. Carey Wright says, interestingly enough, I picked personality that matched the men in my family. As incredible as they are, I now see the relationship flaws that their women complained of. So Carrie is speaking about the impact of having influential opposite sex members in your life and how that can sometimes confuse the issue. Like, you know, it happens. We can look at the opposite sex siblings in our lives or whatever, or the influential members of the opposite sex in our lives when we're younger, whatever, growing up in our developmental years, and be looking at them through rose-colored glasses, only seeing the good in them. Like, you know, because I know how it be when you idolize, you know, the people that are around you. So even when we see them doing wrong, we rationalize that whoever they were doing wrong to, and whatever they did wrong wasn't all that wrong because they was doing it. And whoever they did wrong had it coming. They must have done something to them. Well, I'm going to say it like this. There comes a time in your life where you have to choose a side. So I can kind of dig it. But yeah, as we learn and as we grow, and as I guess it's kind of like karma. It's kind of like karmatic when we have to deal with some of the things that we have excused or allowed or protected or maybe even promoted. Now, don't get me wrong, because my view and my knowledge of karma says to me, it's not karma when you get your just desserts. Karma is not a vendetta. It's not a revenge. It's not, you get what's coming to you. You do get what's coming to you, but that's good and bad. Karma is nothing but an energy that you build up, that you send out, and that you receive. That's all it is. So if you think that somebody who has done you wrong is going to get theirs because of karma, then you're not looking at karma right. So that person who did you wrong might fuck around and win the lottery for $1 million, and your ass may have just lost your job today. But guess what? That's karma. You gotta wait. Karma doesn't work like, like if you thinking that you're going to see karma happen to somebody in the way of revenge, then you are wasting your time. You won't be there when somebody gets what's coming to them, and they won't be there when you get what's coming to you. It doesn't work that way, baby. You wasting your time and your energy and creating negative karma. It's not even a warning. It's not even a warning. I just want to, put y'all on to how a lot of karmatic energy works. Okay. Robbie Ming says, yes, my brothers and stepfather did teach me what not to put up with a man, but they did the opposite. Yeah, well, Carol Chamberlain says, nope, fell for the banana in the tailpipe once. Yeah, well, you gotta learn, baby. You gotta take your bumps and bruises, baby. You gotta take your bumps. Look, just because you passed and made it to the 4th grade don't mean that you did good on every test. Yeah, so you had to learn. It's all right. It's all right. And the crazy thing about it is sometimes we fuck up again and 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 again until we get it down, my friend. I said again and 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 again. I said again and again and again and again and again and again until you finally get it in your head to change, my friend. Hey, I mean, this is going to come a time in your life when you're going to stop, bumping your head in a low passageway because you don't want to bend down. Like, nah, I ain't got to bend down. Shit, they need to raise that shit. I'm not bending down. All right. Well, you ain't tired of getting hickeys on your head. You ain't tired of getting hickeys on your head. And you may not be tired of giving hickeys on the neck. Giving hickeys on the neck and shit. Trying to mark your territory. You learned that from your siblings of the opposite sex. What you do is you give them something that's going to make whoever they dealing with question them. So you get all up on don't even put the passion mark on their neck. Put that shit right there on their cheek. That's that 14, 15-year-old shit. That shit feel good, baby. It feel good. It do feel good, but that shit kind of hurt. Oh, shut up. I'll give you this O mark. Look, it's in the form of an O, baby. You know what I'm saying? Now let them little motherfuckers you be fucking me, you know what I'm saying? You let them know. If they come through, I'm gonna get them a hickey. I'm gonna give them the hickey. It's Throwback Thursday, right? Give them that knuckle right there. I'm gonna give them that knuckle right there. You see that? You see that shit extended? You know what I'm saying? That shit'll fuck your eye up. I will dot your eye. I will put a sign on your eye that say closed for the weekend. All right. So what you have learned and what you learn about the opposite sex from your siblings and whether it matters or not, does it matter? Does it matter, baby? That's what we're talking about tonight on the daily go-getterism show. All right. So, yeah, I mean, just because you grow up with brothers and sisters and all of that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to always make the right decisions. That's just like saying, that's just like thinking that if you go to school, you get good grades and you pass all your classes and you graduate at the top of your class, you're always going to have the best job. You're always going to make the most money. Well, it doesn't always work that way. It's great to get off to a good start that way, but it's not going to always translate into, monetary gain for you. But if you mean to make a lot of money, whether you go to school or not, you're going to get this money. Ask all the dope boys. A lot of them don't go to school. They don't get a good formal education, but they got their mind on a technique that they know will make them a lot of money, and they go ahead and are successful with that until, but of course they have ignored a lot of the other pitfalls of the game, things like bullets lodged below your skin and into your internal organs, and those pesky boys in blue and feds and shit that just don't want to see you get ahead. All right. So when we're talking about growing up with members of the opposite sex and how it affected you as far as how you are going to conduct your relationships, as far as how you're going to see yourself moving in a relationship, and whether it controls your behavior, whether it affects your behavior. Because let me ask y'all this. Did y'all like y'all brothers and sisters? Everybody don't like their brothers and sisters, so they may consciously not learn anything or try to learn anything from their brothers and sisters because they didn't respect them. Look how many people have a problem with their fathers. How many of us black people may have issues with the way that our father raised us, or whether he was there or not. So we may not have picked up the lessons that he may have been teaching us, whether he taught us directly or whether he was teaching us those lessons through his behavior. Maybe we weren't taking those cues because we were so angry and incensed with the fact that he didn't do what we wanted him to do, what we needed him to do, what we were taught that he should do, what we saw on TV and the movies about what a dad should do. So we may have blocked out all of the lessons that he was available to teach us. And that's our immaturity coming through, son. You know what I'm saying? That's our immaturity. What's going on, Bean coming through? Yeah, I mean, I said Bean coming through. Yeah, I mean. And Shanika Crawley says, hey, leave my bones, ham bones, neck bones, leg bones alone. All right. You damn red bones, always talking shit. I don't want to hear that shit. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. Don't nobody. All right. We good, though. Bean says, two brothers and a present dad. I never saw them treat women bad, but I know in their younger years, they had their share of women. Well, just because you have a lot of women don't mean that you treat women bad. It just means that you have a problem with fidelity. Now, you may say that, well, how can you say you're not treating somebody bad if you're cheating on them? Because y'all may have an arrangement that goes as such. You may not believe it, but there are women out here who don't think that well, let me put it this way. Even if we're not talking about a polyamorous relationship or whatever, there are some women out here who just seem to understand that if he a good nigga and they and he's outnumbered by women 7-1 or more or whatever, then they're more than likely I'm gonna have to share. But maybe they feel like they have to have the lion's share. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's always like that or that that's the best way. But it's not etched in stone. Listen, there's some women who don't mind a man smacking them up every time they get out of line. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but it's true, and I know it's true. We've seen it play out. We shook our head. We advised against it. We gave our opinion. Did it matter? No. They may have, but your brothers and your dad may have had their share of women because they had to learn about how to treat a woman and how to conduct themselves, how to exercise more self-control in their lives. It may have taken them a while to get it down, but maybe by the time you came along with your dad, he may have said, shit, I'll be goddamn if I'm going to be teaching my daughter how to accept a man like I was when I was a younger man. Like, no, it's not going down like that. Although you can't erase your spiritual history. You can't erase your genetic history. So maybe the reason why that your dad used to have his share of women, because you might feel it in your bones. You might feel it in your spirit. You can tell by the way he moved. You know what I mean? You can tell by the way he Move his walk. He's a woman's man. No time to talk. Are you getting? All right. And then David says, looking for love in all the wrong places. Yeah. Maybe we be finding love in all the wrong places. You ever think about that? Maybe we just be finding love in all the wrong places. Bean says, from my dad and my brother who is married, I see how a woman can be treated. Hence the reason why I'm picky with who I date. I picked the wrong ones at times. I didn't learn anything from them. Oh, you learned something from them all, right? Shoot, learning what you don't want is just as important as learning what you do want. Oh, so you learn, because we don't have any choice but to learn from our experiences. But hey, but you know, sometimes we don't like the lessons that we learn. I mean, think about it. Think about the subjects in school that you struggle with. Like, you may not have liked math, or if you loved math, you may not have liked English or whatever. But you had to learn those subjects because they gave you a more well-rounded view of an educational experience. So we may have rebelled against learning this and learning that and seeing him and seeing her and all of that kind of stuff. But, you know, as we get older and we mature, you know, it's just like my dad always said, when the student is ready, then the teacher will appear. When the student is ready, then the teacher will appear. I said the student is ready, then the teacher will appear. You ain't going to learn everything you need here. I said the student is ready, then the teacher will appear. You ain't going to learn everything you need right here. When the student is ready, then the teacher will appear. Then you finally open up your eyes and ears. Your eyes and ears. Your eyes and ears. My brother Ansel Jones is all up in the house. What's going on, my brother Ansel Jones? Shanika says many misinterpret karma. Almost everybody. People always talk about the karma. Karma gonna get you. Karma gonna get you. No, he's not. No, he not. And if he get you, I mean, if he gets them, then he's gonna get you too, because that's what you get for wishing that somebody get. You know, like we gotta get over ourselves sometimes. We be like, yes, I can't believe such and such did that to me. Why would you do this to me? Why are you gonna do this to me? in my Tyrese voice. Why do you want to do this to me? Stop acting like a bitch. Yeah, I'm not saying that you should be treated badly, negatively. But yo, if it happened, then it was supposed to happen. Now, maybe the other thing that was supposed to happen was you were supposed to get through it, not get all bitter, not get all fucked up, not get all apprehensive, not become afraid to try again or label everybody as being such. You gotta, yo, none of us were able to stay a baby or a teenager all of our lives. Even though we may look back on those times and look fondly on those times like, yo, those were the best years of my life, and that's when I had it going on. No, you got it going on right now. The more you learn, the more you got it going on. The more you learn, the more you got it going on. Yeah, the more you learn. Yeah, the more you got it going on. The more you learn. Yeah, the more you got it going on. But you ain't trying to hear that shit right now. You ring the alarm. Right is in. Ansel Jones says, put it on the thigh. You talking about the passion mark? Put that shit on a belly button. She be laughing and plus you be closer to the hot spot. You know what I'm saying? You know, they get excited when you get around that area, even if they shy about it. Like, well, you don't have to. Wait a minute. All right. Annette Davis says, I'm embarrassed to say this, but my brother and sister always seem to have someone in their lives, and it makes me think that something must be wrong with me. Like my sister figured it out and I didn't. Yeah, you can. A lot of people have people, but you don't know what they're going through. Like, being with somebody is one thing. Being with somebody that you want to be with is another thing. and being with somebody that you want to be with in the way that you want to be with them is a total whole different set of circumstances. It's not all that easy to have all three at the same time. And it's really, really difficult not to question any of the three at the same goddamn time. T. Carey Wright seems to understand that. She says, Annette, each person's journey is their own, baby. When your time comes, it will be all that you waited for. I can't. Although there's a part of me that wants to say, Carrie don't know what the fuck she talking about. But Bean says, I think it does matter what is modeled before you. Whether or not you choose right is still a risk you take, but hopefully you can avoid the drama or heartbreak and make wise decisions. I agree with that. T. Carey Wright says, my daddy was not perfect. None of us are, but man, was he awesome. It's hard dealing with a woman that doesn't have an appreciation with her father. Like I've known some dudes who said they won't deal with a woman who didn't grow up with her father because they think that, that she's going to be on that man hating shit. And it doesn't always work out that way. It doesn't always just because you don't have a good relationship with your father doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to hate all men or that you're going to rebel against all men or that you get on all of that. You get on that all men ain't shit. Or that I don't need a man type vibe or whatever. Speaking of that, I don't need a man type shit. I don't need no man. Many men in the form of fathers and brothers teach their sisters and their daughters that, I don't want you to ever have to depend on no man. Like, what are you saying, dummy? I understand you speaking from the standpoint of you don't want a man to always feel like he has an unfair advantage over your daughter or over your sister. So you want to make sure that she's financially independent and strong enough to stand on her own 2 feet. So she doesn't have to beg him for the bare necessities of life that she may need. I get that part, but that's not what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? I've even heard men say crazy dumb shit like, well, I wouldn't care if my daughter was a dyke. At least, she wouldn't need no man. Like, I'll punch you in the fucking face. You bitch. You sound stupid. Now, I mean, real stupid. Like you, what? Fuck out of here. Like, I mean, that's crazy. So, because you know of the things that you have done to women or the way that you have behaved when it comes to the opposite sex, you want to try to totally avoid, you're going to try to find a way for your daughter or your sisters to totally avoid, learning the lessons that they need to learn in order to have a decent relationship. So you're going to look at their men through your eyes. Like, nah, that ain't the right man for you. You're going to have to pardon my French on this, but yo, my man, that man makes her wet, not you. You just better be glad that he makes her wet and not you hard. Because you kind of sounded like you worried about him making you hard. Like, you might want to step back. Make sure that your daughter or your sister can protect themselves and that they avoid all the negativity that they may not have coming to them. But nobody gets through life without a broken heart, without a broken promise, without a disappointment, without a love lost. Nobody gets through from the rooter to the tutor, from the cradle to the grave, without saying like, yeah, It wasn't right. Why would you do this? Why are you doing this to me? Yo, shut up, Tyrese. Shut up. Shut up. You're not helping. You're not helping, Tyrese. You're not helping. You're not helping, Tyrese. No. Stop bitching. Go ahead and steal your child like a man would. Just go ahead and kidnap her. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Okay. Carol Chamberlain says, after my failed marriage, I had a few fuck boys before it was fashionable, meaning I was just in it for the sex. I'm being honest. Okay, well, I mean, you gotta get your shit off sometimes. I mean, sometimes you gotta turn on the faucet and make sure that it flows for a little while before you get the faucet fixed. Like, look, at least the faucet is working. Get a little water. Carol says, hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. Fuck all that. I ain't trying to excuse them motherfuckers either. What you mean just because I hurt? Just because I got hurt? You know what I mean? Now I got to go out there. You know what? I'll tell you what. Yeah, hurt people that haven't hurt them. But hurt people don't hurt the people that hurt them. How about that? And hurt people don't hurt the people that make them love. Love puts a stop to all of that bullshit. Love will kill all of your inappropriate bullshit. So all of I just find them, fuck them, and flee, Yeah, you do all of that shit until the one, until the one that makes you want to do more than just fuck, more than just cuddle. The one that makes you get up and make something to eat after you go ahead and the shit, the one that makes you do things that you would rather not share with other people. Damn, nigga. Ow, wow. You got chill. Okay. You're hurting me. All right. Emily says, I never judge a man by what another man did. That's just crazy. Well, no, that's not exactly crazy. You just have to know how to regulate it. Like if you seen a man, shoot somebody that didn't have it coming, you might be all right to judge them by that. Like, you know what? You'll be shooting people. You want some murderous shit. So I don't know about all that. I mean, I heard you a good kisser, but you a murderer. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Sometimes people are murderers and rapists and just, really, really bad guys. But they are really good kissers. Yes. I mean, you steal from men. Look at you. You're no good. You're ratchet. You don't know how to act. You don't know how to treat a man. You don't know how to do anything right. You are a menace and a nightmare. But you're a really, really good kisser. And what nice titties you have. I mean, I can't deny it. You have a twat to die for. And many have died from your twat. I mean, directly. Just went in it and were never seen again. They were never seen again the same, Bean says, my parents said that if a man can be there for you the way we have or better, you don't need him. Hence the reasons why I'm. You said your parents said that if a man can be there for you the way we have or better, or did you mean the right if a man can't. Oh, okay. Below that, you said can't. You know what? A part of me accepts that, and a part of me says, but you are a combination of your mother and your dad. So who's to say that you want the type of relationship that they had? Who's to say that you need to be provided for the way that your parents provided for each other and the way that they provided for their children? It's an example, and probably a very good example, but it doesn't necessarily govern how you will see the world and how you will conduct yourself. Or it may not even be the way that you want it. You know, like you might look at how many women look at their moms like they was weak because they catered to their dads. Like my mom was always cooking for my father. Anything he did, she was all right with it. She always agreed with him. She. Some people look at their mom as being weak for that because she may have been what some people would call submissive. You might have took after your dad. Instead of being the one serving, you might be the one that wants to get served. I'm not saying that necessarily for you, but to really reasonably expect for somebody outside of your bloodline to treat you like the people in your bloodline have treated you, it may not be all that reasonable. It might not be all that realistic. Might not. Maybe in some circles, in some ways it is. But I don't know. Charlene Curry. Charlene says, I've been hurt a couple of times in my lifetime, but I've always came back better than before. I don't give up on love. Well, look at you. Look at you. Charlene Curry. Charlene Curry. But we all got to live and we got to learn. Nobody makes it out of life alive. And you ain't going to go through every relationship, and every relationship is going to be like Claire and Cliff Huxtable on the damn Cosby Show. Shit. Cliff wound up getting locked up after he was already like 78, 79 years old. 80 years old. They wound up locking up Cliff. Cliff's still locked up. And I never seen him put his hands on Claire. Free Cliff Huxtable. 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 Free Cliff. 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 I hope my man Cliff can come home because of the COVID. Bean says, no, my mom was stronger and served the entire family. My dad made sure all the bills were paid and that we had what we needed. And he did not tolerate disrespect or disrespecting a woman. Okay. All right. Oh, serves her entire family. Okay. It's all good. You know. But nonetheless, your journey is your journey. It's yours. And it will have its stamp on it because you got to live your journey in real time. You know. But I mean, it's definitely a good thing to be proud of the relationship that your mom and your dad had, because so many people never get a chance to see that. Many people never get a chance to see their mom and their dad together, or their mom with anybody. I know people who grew up and they never saw their mom in a healthy relationship. Sometimes some of them never saw their mom in a relationship, period. But I know some who saw their moms getting their ass whooped, chasing behind some motherfucker that didn't seem to care too much about them, you know, whether they were physically abusive or emotionally abusive, that type of shit, you know. And some people grew up with a mom that was kind of like a hoe. And it's not an easy thing to ignore when you see your mom acting like a hoe. Like, what do you think is going to be in store for you as a man if you see that your mom was a hoe? Like she was always sneaking. Like somebody knew was moving in our house every other month or whatever. Like, you know, and some people may say that don't mean you a hoe. She was just whooping penub in all the wrong places. Whooping penub in all the man. Come on, man. No. So did your brothers and your sisters teach you how to avoid all of the pitfalls of relationships that you needed to avoid in order to grow up in a healthy relationship? Were they there? What did you learn from your relationships with the opposite sex? I mean, what did you learn in your relationships with the opposite sex because of your siblings of the opposite sex? Did they prepare you? Did they show you? Did they protect you? Maybe yes, maybe no, maybe in a way that didn't show. Who knows? Who knows? Bean says, very proud high school sweethearts married for over 52 years until my mom died. But you see what kind of love story that is? That's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to duplicate. Now, let me ask you this. Are you currently in love with your high school sweetheart? I'm just asking. Because if you're not in love with if there's no chance for you and your high school sweetheart, so you already know that you're not traveling down that path. Doesn't mean that you can't find a path that's good for you based on what you watched with the opposite sex. Now, of course, the same sex can teach us certain things too, but that's not what this show is about. We're talking about with the opposite sex, your siblings, your brothers and your sisters. And you know what? Before we get out of here, I want to put y'all on to why I even looked at this topic this way. The reason that I thought about this topic this way is because we normally think that whatever we have experience with will and should protect us against things that we are unfamiliar with. You know, like, so if we have been around, if we were raised around dogs, and I mean real dogs, I'm not talking about men who have sex with a lot of women or disrespect women. I'm talking about real dogs. If you grew up around, you know, woof, 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 then how are you going to be afraid of dogs? It may have happened, though, for some people. But theoretically, it's not supposed to happen that way. It's not supposed to go down like that. You know what I'm saying? So when you are around dogs and you understand dog behavior, when you're around cats, you understand cat behavior. But then you realize that all dogs are not the same. They have many of the same characteristics, but they are not all the same. They do not all have the same personality. Same thing with a cat or turtle or hamster. So you have to learn what this particular dog, cat, turtle, hamster, bird, what they want, and how y'all can interact with each other on a harmonious level. That's your journey. All yours. You know. So did your brother teach you that? Did your sister teach you that? My sisters did try to prepare me for how evil and deceptive some of these women can be. I mean, some of these women out here are so evil. So evil. That's why I don't trust women that have deep voices. It's like I'm lying because my mama got a deep voice. But anyway, even though they taught me certain things, I also had to learn on my own. Because, you know, I looked at them like, what do y'all know? What do you know? What do you know? But then you find out what they know. When the student is ready, then the teacher will appear. That's just the way it goes down right here. Emily says, whoever taught me how to avoid it, I'm glad that I knew how to miss those speed bumps called. Okay. Well, a speed bump is a lot better than a herpy bump. TK Wright says, sometimes our siblings thicken our skin. My brother, TT, definitely prepared me for cornballs and wannabe pimps. Wannabe is one word. Wannabe is WANNABE. It's plain to see that you're a wannabe, but you can't be what you want, what you're not. So you better start working with what you got. Kick this, kick. You know, it's the cha-cha-cha for this Mardi Gras. I'm the dopest female that you see such for. Yeah, if she like music, be kicking it when she wrote on rhymes. All right. Robbie Robin May says, my aunt married her husband at 19 years old. They stayed married until he died 3 years ago. They both were 74 years old. Wow. That's crazy. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. All right, y'all, let's do these birthday shout outs and let's get on up out of here. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious August 6th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They are number one out the box, LaShawn Sugar Hips Smith. That is the dopest name. LaShawn Sugar Hips Smith. Turning 44 years old today. Watch out, y'all. Sugar Hips got a 44. Bow, 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 bow. Do your thing, Sugar Hips. And Mary Lou Balin, happy birthday to you. And Stephanie Jean-Louis, turning 28 years old today. And David Tarawali, turning 29 years old today. And Oluyemi Yemisi, turning 34 years old today. And Janiyah Fields, turning 33 years old today. And Barb Kelly, turning 63 years old today. And DJ Ubi, bye-bye, Fan Buchalot. What the hell? Happy birthday to you. Yo, and Suleiman Abdul Rahman, and Thomas Felder. Happy birthday to you. And last but not least, my girl going all the way back to the 1985. All the way back to the 1985, Darnella Nash. I remember back in 1987, I used to be like, Darnella on the DMX. Darnella on the DMX. Turning 51 years old today. Happy birthday to you, Darnella. I want to say happy birthday to all of you and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious August 6th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on it, do the damn, to rock out, rock on it, do the damn, rock out, rock on it, do the damn thing, you do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings, you do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Make sure y'all hit that like button before y'all get up out of here. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and make sure that you share the show if you haven't shared the show. Do me that solid. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind, and anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, listen, man, just because you got brothers and sisters and you grew up with them and you saw their trials and tribulations and they tried to put you on and tried to keep you up on the rail, it doesn't mean that it's going to work out that way for you. But a lot of times it does. You know, are you really paying attention? Did you love your brothers and your sisters? Did you respect them? Because we often do things in the image of the people that we respect, even if we know that they ain't right. I mean, think about it. Your brothers and your sisters may have been some of your first teachers. If your mama and your daddy weren't there to teach you, then your brothers and sisters might have been the ones that reach you. Y'all may have been the ones who did dirt together. Y'all may have been the ones who looked out for each other, who took up for each other, whatever it is that y'all needed to do. But if you didn't respect your brothers or your sisters, then it's probably going to be the case that you're not going to represent where they need you or where you should have represented, you know, as far as in your relationship and trying to avoid the pitfalls that would make your relationship experience less than pleasurable. You don't want to get into a situation where it makes your relationship life less than pleasurable. Ooh, 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 ooh. So with that being said, yo, man, I want to thank y'all all for coming through. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for coming through. I hope y'all enjoy listening to the show as much as I enjoy broadcasting it. Do you know what I'm saying? Actual facts, son. I mean, so we will be right back at y'all tomorrow night, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just like it always is. Just like we always do right about this time. Yo, y'all. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. So I will be back at y'all tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. So, you know what I mean? Be here or be here somewhere else. All right. So let's get on out of here. Yo. 40th side, 41st side, live. All right, y'all. Peace. Do the right thing, baby. Do the right thing.